Hey, it's Carly here from Tribe. I think one of the big tragedies of our day and age is how much loneliness is in our culture. And it's this big irony in our kind of modern society and culture that we're more than ever in the history of humanity living in large masses of people. We're kind of congregated in cities, and we're surrounded by people, and we're plugged into each other with the technology of internet style communication, where we can be instantly in communication with each other all the time. And yet I think so many of us that I see and I've experienced feel lonely within that huge degree of being surrounded by people. And I think this is very different to our history within tribal style cultures and community, where there was I think so much more intimacy and being together compared to the modern day. And I think it's actually one, super sad, how much loneliness there is, and also actually super dangerous, because I think we have such a strong need for connection with each other. And in my experience, I think there's like so much of us who kind of walk around, and even though we're surrounded by people, we're still not actually really sharing the depths of who we are and what's actually going on for us. The things that we're challenged by, and the things that we care about and that are really important to us, and what's happening in the overall context of our lives. And I've certainly experienced this a lot, and I still do, less so as I'm in the practice of all the things that we're teaching at Tribe and the building of community, which I feel so passionate about. But I've had so many kind of experiences throughout my life of just like feeling really alone, and even being at parties and wanting to feel connected with and seen, and to really kind of share myself, and yet just not really knowing how, or just like there not being that context in which to do that. It's at a party, it might be that we're just like talking shit, or like kind of just like sharing about the kind of factual things that are going on in our lives. Like it might be a new person, and it's like, well, this is what I do for work, and this is where I live, and all that stuff has a place. I don't want to kind of disregard those things. I think there's kind of important elements to those things, but it's like we can get stuck there and not know how to actually go beyond those places. So I think that's kind of super sad, and the more that I learn about the need for human connection, the more passion I feel about this, and particularly attachment theory and research really highlights this. Kids who don't get quality attention and affection are actually suffer a lot and just don't develop healthily. So one of the really important things that I've learned around all this is that actually intimacy and connection, there's skills associated with these things. There's particular things we can pay attention to, and distinctions and awarenesses that have us actually be able to generate these things intentionally. And I just kind of want to say a few bits and pieces around these things. So the first thing I want to say about intimacy is there's a kind of like a word play around intimacy that I really like, which is into me see. Right? So I think this is a really nice way of defining intimacy, like into me see, where I'm actually revealing my thoughts and my feelings, actually the depths of who I am. This is actually, to me, what intimacy is about, is when each of us is sharing ourselves kind of on this level, where the deeper levels of our reality are coming into connection. And it's like learning how to, in a sense, like open up a window onto our being, a window onto who we are. And this is the kind of the thing around our culture and the level of isolation. And it's like the window is kind of almost closed, and we're just showing the kind of this mask and projection of who we are, rather than actually kind of opening up the window and revealing ourselves. So I think this is the first thing which is really important, is just knowing how to reveal, just like knowing how to share what we're feeling and what we're thinking. And it's kind of, if we don't put our attention there, I think it can be hard to even know these things. Like learning emotional literacy, I think, is like super important. Actually, what am I feeling? Like, And how do I even identify that? And do I have a language to be able to share my feelings? You know, do I know feeling words and how to identify when I'm feeling a particular feeling? You know, what other thoughts that I have going on? What interpretation have I got occurring right now? What meaning making have I got going on? Or what assumptions am I making? And can I actually see that and then be able to share that with people and check it out, you know, and tell people what we're making up, you know. And to me, these are the most basic skills of intimacy, is actually just knowing our experience such that we can share them. Of course, the other side of that is knowing how to give other people quality attention. So how do I invite other people's experience out and help other people share what they're feeling and what thoughts they're going on and make space for it, you know. And kind of most summarily, this is really like the skills of curiosity, just like how do I bring this kind of quality of listening and curiosity to kind of understand another person and kind of understand, you know, what's going on for them. You know, and it just like feels so good to receive that kind of quality of attention and give that kind of quality of attention. You know, and in particular, like give curiosity to, you know, what's important to people. You know, what's going on for you. You know, how have you been feeling? You know, and not just that kind of cursory, how are you kind of level, you know, day-to-day hello style. Instead, you know, understanding, you know, kind of the deeper picture of someone, you know, and I feel it's just so much desire to have culture where we do that with each other, you know, we really kind of hear, you know, the deeper sense of what's happening for people. So, you know, out of these skills of kind of intimacy, revealing ourselves, giving each other curiosity, you know, inquiring into what's important to us, what our values are, how we're feeling about things, you know, out of this comes connection, you know, and to me, connection is just like, feels so good. Like I'm feeling really like seen by somebody and they feeling the same, and we're in this place of kind of being with each other on this level of our beings, you know, that is a bit deeper than kind of everyday normal interaction. To me, there's this place of just like, I can just like be myself. I can like relax into myself, and I can be in the parts of me that have like the most aliveness to them, you know. So I can, rather than kind of feeling in that sense of loneliness and isolation, where actually what's most alive for me, what I'm really feeling and what I really care about, rather than that kind of being hidden away, you know, with these skills of intimacy, then those places in me can actually then be expressed, you know. And if I'm in that kind of sharing with another person, then the aliveness of who we are is there, you know. And then if we can actually start to communicate about that aliveness that's occurring there, we can even start to amplify it. Like, wow, you know, being with you right now, I'm feeling just like so kind of relaxed in myself and safe to be who I am. And if I start to actually share those types of things, it can even just help kind of amplify that sense of aliveness that I'm feeling. And it just feels so good to like be in that kind of relationship, that kind of interaction, and that kind of community. And you know, and really this is the largest stand that we have as part of Tribe. We want to create that kind of culture. We want to teach those skills and those distinctions that let us be in that kind of space of the full aliveness of who we are, this full expression of what's most important to us and what's really going on for us and where we're challenged and might have difficulty, and be in that place of kind of sharing that in togetherness, you know, so that we can live out of a kind of community where we're really supported in the kind of deeper unfolding of who we are and how that's arising in all the circumstances in our lives, and what it means to actually, you know, help manage all of that. I could certainly, you know, do with more community around me of parents, you know, as an example, just like to manage those types of logistics. So I'm hoping that the people who are watching out there also feel that same sense of desire for connection and intimacy that I feel. If you're feeling lonely in yourself, I feel a lot of compassion for you. I too have felt that a lot and feel that at times, and I'm hoping that what I'm sharing really speaks to you, and that there are things that you can do to actually get better at generating the type of connection and sharing and seeing of yourself that you may desire. Thank you.